We have only 35 chambers. There is no 36.
I know that. But I want to create a new chamber.
And what would that be?
I think Shaolin techniques should be available to all. So then, that's my idea for a new chamber. To teach the martial arts to the people. Anybody.
All right, welcome back to another episode of My Three Cents. So this one is based upon a lot of the stuff that's going on right now that I'm not sure how many people are aware of what's really happening, right? This is linked into the politics, the politicians, the Democrat, Republican, the whole argument thing that everybody participates in when they go to the polls and they vote, or when they go and vote. Remember, we're just talking about energy and electricity, right? So this is the polarity where you go to vote, okay? And this is where you go and put someone in charge. So remember, this whole thing is always based on energy and your misperception of energy, because you're not seeing what they're using you for, right? You're the batteries in this whole thing. So what I want to talk about is what's going on in Haiti as far as the assassination. I just want to mention some things from my perspective, my 3 cents, and what some people might not realize. So let's go. The president over in Haiti, the ruler, was assassinated, right? And someone mentioned this to me, and when I looked into it and just read a few of the articles, what I did was I went back to earlier this year, last year. I read stories and articles on what was going on then, because that's how you can see what led up to what just happened, and then that way you could really get it. So I went back and looked into that, and I saw that what the problem was is that the people do not want to be like the United States. This is the whole thing, right? This is 90% of the argument. The people, as a majority, do not want to be democratized. They don't want to be like what we are. They have a fear of being controlled by the government, votings and things being rigged. They have a fear of becoming too much like the United States. Okay? Now, this was kind of being pushed back when Obama was in office as a Democrat, and this is being pushed now with Biden in office. This is why you did not see it when Trump was in office, right? He was a Republican. You got to understand what the republic even is, right? Guys, look this stuff up so you can understand how this relates to you and your quote unquote freedom. Because what I'm going to get into with this one is what I like to call freedom traps. There's a lot of freedom traps, all right? So this is what I mean by that. So this guy was assassinated based upon basically a revolt. These guys, they've been over there kidnapping. I mean, just doing all kind of murders, all kind of stuff, right? And to them, it was their way of revolting against what they don't want to happen. So they wanted to create an environment where it was unsafe to do votes, where it was unsafe to do all these elections. They did not want it. So they wanted to stir up the environment, right? So this guy was going to go forward with it because he's dealing with Biden and them and their administration in the United States. The people disagreed. They took him out. It's a sad thing that over these systems, over these religions, over all these things where they're asking you to choose, this is where most of our deaths, if not all of our deaths, besides natural death, is really coming from. Okay, so I looked and saw that last year, we'll say in 2020, the fiscal year of 2020, Haiti received millions of dollars from the United States. I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, over $100 million. Now, a lot of people are probably saying, well, where's the money go? Again, see, this is one of the things that people are concerned about. Politics, money exchanging hands, not helping the people. Even if this guy had the best intentions, which just looking at what his message was, he seemed to have great intentions. See, that's what makes this even more tragic. And this is just like what our people are going through today. You have great intentions, but you're doing the wrong thing. How do I know that? Because it ain't helping. A lot of our ancestors had great intentions with what they were doing, but they were still doing the wrong things and died for the wrong reasons. And so we have people now trying to replicate what they were doing when, again, a lot of them died for the wrong reasons. Chasing the wrong dreams, trying to achieve things that they should not have been trying to achieve. This is a form of trial and error. This happens on a grandiose scale that is generational. There's a learning curve with everything in the universe when it comes to conscious interaction. Okay? So going back to what's happening with Haiti, this stuff is based on politics. So who knows what's going to happen now? You know, I've spoke before about socialism, capitalism, these different things, right? Marxism, these isms. When I spoke about Black Lives Matter and I said that's a Marxist group, be careful what you join and post that you're a part of because they will put you on a list. I'm trying to protect you. I'm not trying to talk down on whatever they're trying to do, but don't be fooled. Why do you need to join somebody else's group, first of all? Why can't you just be about what you're about? Why do you have to go around with a t-shirt and say, well, I'm a part of this group? What does that prove? That's displaced energy. That could have been energy put into the solution rather than trying to show what you're about in a way that really ain't doing nothing. It might even cause doubt on what you're about. It might even cause conflict with what you're about. See? A lot of times we think we're doing the right thing. We're actually doing the odd, strange, weird thing that's actually messing up what you think you want to achieve. This is a serious problem. So this is a serious problem with our people. Because we justify, black people, we really justify doing the wrong thing. We are awesome at justifying doing the wrong thing. Think about it. So this whole freedom trap when it comes to these isms, and this is very tricky. This is very tricky. You got the Democrats and them saying defund the police and all this kind of stuff. Who is going to be the victims in this? It's just going to be more black people. Yeah, white people and other people be a victim too, but mainly in the majority black because the black communities are already suffering. You want to celebrate the 4th of July and pop fireworks? Man, come on, man. Do the knowledge on this stuff. What are you celebrating? You look crazy. Do things for your own reasons on your own days because you want to, and that's that. And I knew that just that energy alone was going to cause what it caused. I knew it. And when I looked at what happened in Chicago the next day, over 200 shootings over the weekend. Not shootings, but like people hit. Over 20 people died, couple kids, couple police hit. So what are we fighting for? I don't know. A lot of black people don't like me to say that black people are the main problem in this country. A lot of black people would disagree and say, well, nah, white people. No, that's not true. There's something very psychological I thought about the other day, and I'd like you to hit me up and let me know if I'm wrong about this, or if you feel like I'm wrong about this, is that if white people or Europeans actually stop bothering, quote unquote, bothering the black man or the black people, if they just left us alone, guess what would happen? We'd miss it. And then it will become a whole nother thing about why are you ignoring us? This thing is more psychological than anything. We create things to complain about so we can complain. This is actually the nature of life. Because it's like saying, what is the purpose of life? Life. What do you mean? The meaning of life is to live. It's no deeper than that. The answer is always in the question. That's the trickiest thing. Remember, everything is a cycle, a circle. It has to connect. Okay, so you got these Marxist groups like Black Lives Matter. How can I show you that? Well, just look up the person that runs it, the melanated female, and you'll see that she's done interviews where she said she was raised Marxist. She was taught Marxism. And what that is, again, is just that a group of people, and it sounds like it has great intentions. See, this is the part that really tricks our people. This is what destroys them. Misplaced intention, displaced intention. So it's when you go to people, like an oppressed people, quote unquote, right? And you say, well, we're the majority, we're feeling like this. And they say, well, we need to make this better. And we all agree. And then they say, well, it's the people in charge that have put it in this position. We got to do something about that. And you say, okay, we still with you. Yeah, you're right. And they say, okay, well, we need to make a movement where we take them out of power and we put us, the people, in power. And it's like, okay, I'm following you. All right. And then it's like, all right, we knocked them out of power, right? There's no police, none of that. And they say, we got you. And you depend on that. Now, what is going to happen when that collapses? Total chaos. Who is going to try to break that down the whole time? The same people trying to break down the systems we complaining about right now that in some sense, by being in place, are protecting us. But from who? Reckless melanin. Nobody's killing us faster and for lesser reasons. And the problem is, again, the people that run the media, the music, the television are in control of our imagery outside of what we choose to go out in nature and perceive, have an agenda. And it's always going to be like that because why not? It's your fault if you keep getting swept away. If your kids are getting swept away, it's the parents' fault. You got to do something. You can't make other facets of life more important than the abbreviation of you, which is your child. So groups like Black Lives Matter, when you join them, they on you, you're on a list, they watching you. And the way they perceive it is you against the government because that is what it's about. But the thing is, that is not a sustainable solution. What would be better is a type of harmony instead of a versus. It has to be that way. We have to educate the European and the uneducated, melanated people. We have to educate them to a point where they could stand above where we currently are. Then we can actually get to some type of melded solution where everybody could win, or even just some people don't have to lose so bad by default. Because the way it's set up now, this is the universal laws of balance. If we're working within a system created on a slant, that will never be balanced. It was created on a slant. The only solution will be to destroy the foundation and rebuild it with some type of understanding and understanding. That's the only way. So, because we feel like we can't reason, right? The average man, feels like he can't reason with the government, feels like the government is big and large and above him because he don't understand this whole thing. He doesn't understand that he is the power that keeps them in power, that keeps you complaining about what they're doing. So, with Black Lives Matter being Marxist, their solution is to change the government. And it was kind of the same as Martin Luther King, again. And this is why they said he was a socialist and all this stuff, was because think about what all that stuff means. Communist, think about what it means to commune, community, the people. Social is the people. It's always the people. It's always for you. It's disguised as for you. It's disguised as for helping the people. How can you not agree with that? Here is the trap. Because once they can get you in that mind frame and you help them destroy everything, what guarantee do you have that they're going to rebuild everything the way they say? What guarantee do we have? Because even now with these things in place, we can't stop thinking about that long enough to look and point the finger at each other and say, well, damn, cut the rap off. Cut this stuff off. These are traps. Why are we digging into murdering and killing each other and paying these people a lot of money to spread these messages? To spread the confusion in the young black minds of the girls, the boys. They don't know what to be. They don't know how to act. They don't know what to do. They got phones. They got porn. They're overexposed early. In a day where the parent is so busy by design that you can't even really address your kids day to day. They designed it like this. It's a shame. Some kind of way we have to understand how to exit out of those systems, do something. Because guess what? When you start the motion of even visualizing you having the ability to provide and do things out of a good place from you, right? You're just putting this out. You're just going in a direction consistently. Don't you realize that money and all those types of things will come with that? You don't have to worry about the money first and try to measure it, do the calculations. Well, if I do this every month, if I make this and put this away, man, if you're doing all that, guess what? The more you plan your life, the less time the universe can just shine on you and point you in directions. You're not available for that. You're looking down at your phone. You're looking at your watch. You're looking at your calendar. You're on the phone. You're texting. Your free will is being used up. That's why I always say free will is a gift and a curse. That is the main ingredient. Because it's the right to interfere into your own life, your own stream, your own path. You can keep walking left and walking right and keep zigzagging. I mean, you have the right to keep changing paths. But like I say, that's the gift and the curse, because it's the right to interfere or the right to enter into fear, because now you're the one making decisions. Once you interfere with something, you're just basically hoping it goes right. And there's a whole fear on the other side that it doesn't. You created that. So instead of flowing, you chose to take the wheel when you didn't really have to. You know when. Those are the tests. So what I mean again about these traps is going back to Black Lives Matter, Marxism, communism, all that stuff. You know, you got to understand they're disguising it as for the people. Now you're looking around the countries and the worlds. You're seeing uprising. You're seeing it in Haiti. Now you're seeing it in Cuba. You're seeing it in Africa. Now you're seeing. Pay attention. You're seeing it everywhere because there's this idea of we don't want to be like this thing y'all created and called the United States. With it ain't as pretty as it looked. We don't want that. We don't want to be controlled. But at the same time, how do we balance that without leaving everything to the people and the ones with the most guns and the most power? I'm watching a show. I watch a show called The Shy sometimes, right? And it is a ridiculous show, man. It's embarrassing again to black people. It's very embarrassing. I watch these things just like data. I'm watching these things and understand. I'm looking at these people's eyes. They're acting. They're insulting us. They're insulting your life, where you live, and the stuff you really go through. You think because they're going on TV and getting paid to see it your way and to act some stuff out where police get killed and they defund the police and transgender this and that and all this kind of stuff they want you to be all right with. It's a damn programming and it's embarrassing. But what's more important is the narratives that they're showing is almost like a future look at what they really want to make happen. You don't want it. Because even on the show, guess what? They're doing the whole defund the police thing and the Black Lives Matter. You better watch who's speaking for you on a national level, on a world level. It's just trickery. So now they got these guys on the show, thugs running around trying to break up stuff from people's homes and all this kind of stuff. People you never seen before. You don't know him from Joe Schmo. His pants damn near down. You know, they coming in telling you to stop fighting. You fighting with them. What the hell? We don't want that. I want the option to call somebody that has been trained properly and understands people, and his purpose is protection and serving, and the way it is given to us that way. How about we just kind of make sure we control the narrative now instead of trying to destroy that whole thing? Because after the destruction has to come a rebuild, and I don't trust the builders. I don't trust the builders that I'm seeing. I don't trust the quote unquote black leaders. I don't trust them because they're pushing something that's not a full blueprint plan. It hasn't been worked out. We can't even take honest looks and conversations towards ourselves. We're seeing people in the streets with the Stop the Gun Violence t-shirts and hats and having rallies, but nobody has a shirt, t-shirt, or any of that and a hat saying, brother, why you keep killing yourself? Why you killing each other? It's you. All the gun laws are based on you. When they get on TV and say blah, 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 make our community safe, who you think they saying make it safe against? White people or black people? Whenever they get on TV talking about changing the laws and the martial law and all this type of stuff, what race or culture do you think they're more concerned about when they make any plans about coming and taking over your city? What areas and zip codes and area codes are they most concerned about and they have to plan extra around and circle in red on the map when it's time to move into the cities? You got people in Chicago right now calling for the government to come in and do all kind of stuff with the. I actually think they approved it, if I'm not mistaken, where now the military are going to come in. And guess what has to happen? What are you going to do? It's going to be a standoff, some kind of major shootout happening between them and the black men. Now watch how this triggers Black Lives Matter. They're going to come out. You can't just be killing the blacks. How do we solve this? See, that's what I'm saying. The easiest way to solve this is for a black to point out a black and say, stop, you look stupid. Pull your pants up, you're an idiot. Whoever taught you this shit is an idiot. Your mama's an idiot and your daddy's a damn idiot. If they don't like it, you tell them too. Your mama an idiot. If you can't see that you a damn idiot, how would you ever stop being an idiot? Think about that. Instead of trying to see something so quick as a damn insult, understand that if you're being something that you cannot see, I'm actually doing you a service by letting you know what you're giving off in a major way and what you're helping to create. That's destroying other things. Why am I not allowed to say something? I thought it took a community. This whole thing is despicable and stupid. We are the main thing in the cycle that has to change. I said it before. The only thing a black man's scared of is another black man. That's a damn shame. Imagine if we could alleviate that type of fear within our own community. Do you now understand that the black man would essentially walk around fearless? And what that means to the community and to the world, to the universe, energetically. To the kids, the seeds, better soil for the seeds. So, one of the traps is thinking that these movements are helping your people and they're for you and they're going to make your community better. Don't fall for that. You make your community better. Clean your house up. Focus on your kids. Help them to not be so influenced by those that should not be influencing them that heavy. Start there. Cut off the influence first. Start there. Start shaving back the influence and shifting the influence to you. Because the reason a lot of our kids are influenced by the wrong things is because a lot of the parents feel intimidated by the child being too focused on them. Because they know they're not doing the work. And if you can't, I get it. But say something. Don't pretend. Say something. That's why I want to come up with something where I'm actually able to build a place or some type of network where, because a lot of us have so much pride, we're embarrassed to ask questions. We won't say, hey man, I don't know anything about taxes. I'm 40. I just give people, I don't know anything about a business. I don't know anything about how anything works. Bro, just say that. Sister, just say that. Because guess what? If we can get over the ego, we could actually get somewhere. If we could stop worrying about hurting people's feelings, we could actually get somewhere. These are traps. The beauty trap. Look at the black woman. She's so scared to be herself because she feels the most judged and the most scrutinized. But the thing is, you're the one scrutinizing yourself by participating in the scrutinization. You're the main thing in this thing you're calling scrutiny. Because guess what? You're the one walking around every day with somebody else's hair, with somebody else's face. Your clothes are influenced by something. We do have a small percent of women that are natural, that have recognized this, that used to be that and came back and say, hey, whoa, I actually want people to see me. Because it's very deceiving. It's very deceiving and disrespectful and weird to men. And a lot of women don't know that. The makeup and all that is very strange. Because it's like you're purposely trying to hide yourself. And I just can't understand why a lot of women don't see it that way. And I get trying to look different or made up at certain events or doing something, right? But I know, some of y'all doing it every day. It's a ritual now. Don't you understand anything you keep doing is a ritual? Don't feel some type of way about the word, but understand that's what you're doing. It's whatever you make up that day. So, this is a beauty trap. You can't find a good man. He don't even know what you look like. It's hard to trust. Men are just out there. We can get a haircut and that's about it. We ain't putting on no makeup. I'm not. We got to be as we are. And it's kind of just, the whole thing is just structured weird. And this is why, a lot of the women end up single and dating and just sleeping around and having a lot of kids because that's the only option you've given yourself. It's hard for you to be taken serious because you don't even know that what you're doing is kind of like buffoonery. And men, being in a simple mind state most of the time, and the lower chakras are going to take advantage of that. Now we have women in their 40s and 30s saying, men ain't shit. Where's all the good men? What happened to chivalry and this and that? And it's like, whoa. And now people are starting to have this conversation and realize, wait a minute, women, you have had your fun and now you want to be taken serious as some type of material of gold that we supposed to just put you on this pedestal after you've been kicking every good man down that's been trying to holler at you because he didn't have whatever you was looking for. So it's the give and take. Go through what you got to go through. Be alone for a minute. Whatever you got to go through, work on yourself. Attract what, because you're only going to attract the value of yourself, period. If you take time and raise your value within, what you attract will be of higher value. Can't argue with that. So don't try to use yourself up and have fun, and because you're doing these things consciously is why I say, you knew such and such was a good woman or a good man, and you purposely, because you just wanted to have fun, you say, I don't want to settle down yet and all that, but then those same people realize later you threw something away. You're looking for it. It's gone. Somebody got it. So just keep that in mind. Don't fall for these little traps of holding yourself up on a pedestal, women, especially black women, so high that you end up alone to the point where you've put yourself up too high. We can't even take you serious as something that, what I mean by take serious is that we can't even consider you as a keeper. You're more made for the internet or whatever you're doing, right? So don't fall for this, ladies. Don't see these women and say, that's what men want. I got to be like that. Don't do that. You better stay as natural as possible. Stay you and stay bold and do something. But be bold by being yourself. And dress that up. Make that look as beautiful as you think the makeup makes you look. And I think that's the biggest thing. If you can understand that you can actually shapeshift yourself to that, just become that. Make yourself feel as good outside of that makeup as you feel up under that makeup. That's all I'm saying. Now, if you have that, go ahead, do what you want to do. Wear it when you want, because that's balance. But it's the shift in energy that's dangerous, right? It's the inconsistency in energy of self. So another trap I want to mention real quick too, just off the cuff talking about these traps that I think about sometimes, is this thing with the open carry and the gun. This is the gun trap. This is the gun trap. Because what's happening is there's a lot of states where they're passing these laws where you can open carry, right? So what this means is that you can get this gun, and if you have it on you concealed and they cannot see it, you are breaking the law. If you got about, I think it's 30% of it, if you got 30% of it showing, then you're in line with the law. You're following the law. So you have to show that you have it on you. It has to be, the handle got to be poking out or something. That's open carry, okay? Now, here's the trap. You got a lot of fellas carrying these guns and they feel good about walking around with their guns in these open carry places. But what is going to happen when you get into a confrontation with a police officer? What happens when they just pull you over or stop you walking or pull up on you or whatever the case may be? You have the pistol or weapon right there on you. What you think they're going to do? Even though this is an open carry state, you got to understand these are traps. All you got to do is swivel your hips a certain way. And he going to say, I thought he was pulling. You guys got to realize, man, these are traps. Keep your gun at home. It's for protection at home. If you somewhere out where you need a gun, you need to be somewhere else. If you're old enough to have a gun, legally, and you're out where you feel like you need a gun, you need to be somewhere else. Don't fall for this stuff, guys, because we're going to be seeing shootings that's going to be getting disputed and the video and the cam. And again, here's a perfect situation where Black Lives Matter or any of these groups pop up and say, here's the video. He wasn't pulling. He wasn't drunk. He didn't even reach. But here we go. See? They create scenarios where it can easily be a discrepancy. So when it happens, oh yeah, it's going to be some real good energy to eat. They making gumbo on y'all. Traps. So many traps. They set a PPP trap for people, black people especially. The money trap. The free money trap. That's what I'll say about this one. I call this one the free money trap. Oh, they set the trap. Real nice. Right? Again, another thing that was disguised as helping the common man, the people, the downtrodden, the black man, the small business community. Why not just personally give people money at home as a person? Why are you taking it to my business? It's a trap. It's a trap. Well, the PPP helped a lot of people, and people need. Okay, that was the people that did it legit. For them, it wasn't a trap. It's not a trap when you're doing things the proper way with a light heart. That's not a trap. You don't feel no type of way about it. Now, I'm talking about those that took the bait, who saw the low-hanging fruit. And it's messed up how they did it so blatantly. It's messed up how they did it so blatantly. Because you had people applying for it the first time. The government was pissed because it was so easy that larger corporations took advantage of a lot of the money, right? So governments got pissed because the money went to wealthy people, even though they did not break the law, but they took advantage of loopholes that were left wide the fuck open in the PPP loan application and process, okay? They didn't do nothing wrong. But a lot of them gave the money back because they got called out loud. See? So they replenished the money and they say, all right. All right, people, we back with the PPP. And this time, we're actually focused on the black community. Think about it. Look back at it. So now what happens is everybody and their mama is filling out applications and letting their homeboy know they can get them some money. They're giving away money, free money. And right now, what you might not know is a lot of people are going to prison. And it's sad. Because they just wanted to come up. They fell for a trap, and now they're going to prison. And they get their money back. You had people making businesses and forging documents and saying that they made money they didn't make, and not understanding that these people was going to check your taxes and line all this stuff up, even if they gave you the money up front. They told you in the application they was going to monitor how you spent the money. They told you in the application the money has to be spent for employees or something lacking for the business. So you have people making businesses in their first and last name. Okay, I see where you're going with that. But what you don't understand is how to incorporate your actual first and last name in all caps. Because they own that. Check your social security card. Check all the mail that comes with your first and last name in all caps. They own that. That's theirs. Now, when they're talking to you, it would be a capital first letter on your first and last name. You, the person. When they're talking about referencing the business, it's going to be your name in all caps. I'm not going to get into that on this one. So, the money trap was deep. And they had pastors. It's on YouTube. A lot of times you can see now, people getting arrested and busted, pastors and everybody, for just using the money for vacationing and buying cars and houses and just all kind of stuff, because they just was like, hey, I'm gonna live now and pay the consequences later. We have that strange mentality about life. That's why I don't trust the builders. All these people fronting and talking the talk, but when it come down to it, who is going to bang the hammer with the nail and actually build something solid? Who going to mix the concrete in the sun? Because I'm not seeing it really now. Our strongest men are playing damn ball. Think about that. The most capable people in the country are getting paid the highest money to play ball, to play in the fields. That's embarrassing. You know what you got to do as a civilian, as a regular person, as a job to make as much money as they're making or more? That's crazy. It should be the other way around. That if you want to play games for the rest of your life, we'll give you a little bit of money because you're our entertainment. But this has gone beyond that because of the level of influence. See? The value is in your deficit. Their value gain is in your deficit. So the money trap was unfortunate, and a lot of these people don't know how to get out of it. I even seen a girl doing a GoFundMe to pay back the PPP because she knows she's going to prison. PPP. Prepping people for prison. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just saying. It even sounds suspicious. So a lot of people fell into that, man. It's unfortunate. And really the fact that they targeted it toward the black community, and it was under the guise of we're making it easier. Why you always got to make something easier when it comes to black? Like we just stupid. And why do we keep accepting that? Oh, they trying to help us. Help your damn self. Read a book. Then they can't help you. And you can say thanks, but no thanks. I know I got this. And actually, I took it a step further with some other stuff that you did not include. Because that's what they'll do. They'll give you something and not include some other stuff. See? Because you took the package that they put together. They even put the loan repayment way out. I think it was like 30 years. Something unheard of. To make it even more appealing. When they know the psychology of people and the psychology of desperate people in desperate times. They know that. What culture do the most scams? Now, I grew up with this. I know some scammers. I've been a part of some scams growing up. We are some genius thinkers, but we use it for the wrong things, and we often fall into traps because of that. So, this country just full of traps. And I think that's what we got to understand and understand is that your time will mainly be spent trying to avoid traps, trying to step over them, trying to see them, and avoiding them. Your time is best spent that way and sharing with somebody else, hey man, oh, watch out for that. And then that other person being receptive and not being defensive to say, you don't know me, you don't know my life and all that. Let that ego stuff go. Shout out to all the black women that actually do handle their business. Because a lot of times I come down on the black women because I hold you in the highest regard. That's why I come down on you like that, because of how you're being represented as a whole. And so what I'm coming down on is the ones that's just steadily feeding into the negative imagery. So shout out to the ones that are not that. The ones that have the kids that's trying hard, and the kids are hard-headed, and you actually want the father to be involved, and maybe he just don't want to be involved. So there is a side of that that's real. But again, unfortunately, that same man that doesn't want to be involved was probably raised by a single mother. This is why I always it's a cycle. I can't be nice about it all the time. So, shout out to the ones that's real with what they do. As a parent, as a wife, as a mate, as yourself, with no mate, whatever you are. Because that's all I want to attract, is those energies. For a long time, I've attracted the wrong type of females. And what I learned was I had to raise my own energy. See? I had to become impressed with myself before I can be re-impressed by something of the opposite sex that I want to hold on to. So keep that in mind. All is reflection. If you're not satisfied with what you're attracting, then look at yourself. Are you attracted to yourself? Do you, and I mean that in the way of, do you impress yourself? Right? We talking attractiveness is a form of magneticism. This is another reason some people can't be alone too long. Drives them nuts. They can't be with self. They are not attracted to themselves. See? So think about that. So I just wanted to do this episode, just traps, man, because I'm just looking around and there's so many traps to fall into. And so many of them are targeted towards the melanated people. And they're kind of put in the form of triggers. So when these events happen, it automatically triggers. It's like something they call the Mandelbrot set. Not the Mandelbrot. What is it? I forget the name of it, but it's where you build this whole contraption and you hit the beginning of it, and it does all these things for this one little outcome at the end. But the fun is watching all the different things being triggered that seem to be unrelated to each other. All right? So that's what this is, always. And it's unfortunate that we don't see it that way. And we're so quick to join a group to be louder when we're loud about the wrong thing and we haven't done our homework, research, read a book, or even looked into who we're following. This is what's tearing us up as a culture. So stop falling for these traps. Stop watching so much social commentary. Stop reading into all that, because too much conversation is bad. It's poison, depending on who you're talking to, I guess. All right? So this one has been on just traps. Our music, trap music. We didn't used to have trap music. Music didn't used to be a trap. Black neighborhoods were considered traps in my day because it was one way in and one way out. So in those neighborhoods, those were the most dangerous neighborhoods, the traps. Because guess what? Once you pull the car in, they can close some type of gate or block off something. You in there. You better know who you're there to see. So just look at how they renaming everything that we got going on. Everything's trap. And they got us also in some traps. Do your research. All right, I appreciate y'all coming back listening to another episode of My 3 Cents. Repeat listeners, shout out. Next episode, I want to pull up. I had a list. Actually, I have it right here. Look, I want to let y'all know we got people listening all over the world. I was looking at my stats. And so we have people in the UK. We got the United Arab Emirates. Shout out to Estonia. Look, I mean, when I say shout out to these people, I'm not saying I agree with everything they got going on. Somebody going to say, well, they believe in this, and you saying shout out. Don't worry about that. All right? I'm just saying they supporting the podcast by listening, which means whoever's coming from these areas is trying to attain some type of knowledge and they're getting something from it. So shout out to Estonia, India, the Philippines, United Arab Emirates, and the UK. All right, and those of you in your states, your local areas here in the U.S. All right, I appreciate y'all. Y'all want to support the channel, you know what to do. Other than that, find me on my email, skotr36@gmail.com. Drop me a line, say something, disagree with me or whatever, ask me a question, say whatever you want to say. Drop me a line, let me know. All right? So until next time, this has been my 3 cents. Wholeness and a whole bundle of gratitude.